People don't realize the Yankee fan adores Don because, they didn't win a championship. And obviously Mantle, DiMaggio, Ruth, and Garrick, the other great Jeter, they all did. But Don represents Yankee greatness in a period where it wasn't always great on the field or in the owner's box and all those things. And the Yankee fan always appreciates that. And Don, right away, early in your career, we did a turn back time the other day with the firing of Billy Martin, and here comes Yogi. I did a Ricky Henderson one the other day as far as his trade was concerned to the Yankees. You saw a lot in your first 3 years in your career. The Yankees' late 70 period was over when they won the 2 championships. It was a different Yankee era there in the early 80s. And you dealt with a lot of changes right away. Young player, too. Give me some thoughts on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot to deal with. It was a great time I was called up at the end of '82. And that was like Goose Gossage, Greg Nettles, Lou Piniella, Bobby Mercer, Oscar Gamble, Willie Randolph, guys that have championship pedigree. And so it was a great group to learn from and understand how you get ready to play a baseball game and how it is playing in New York. So, and then obviously got a chance to kind of get my feet wet, have success, and then kind of be involved with everything that went on there, in those early years.
Fascinating, too, because you dealt with a lot of managerial changes. What stunned you the most, firing Billy after '83 or firing Yogi after 16 games in '85? Had to be Yogi, correct?
Correct. That was a stunner because obviously we knew we had a good team that year. Ended up winning 90. I think we won 98 games. And we were like 16 games into it, I believe. And I don't think Winnie was banged up. I think Ricky was banged up, and we were maybe 6-9 or 6, and I don't know what we were exactly, but it was way too early to make that move. And I think that hurt that clubhouse. That hurt a lot of guys because of the respect you have for Yogi, the way it happened, when it happened. That was my first true taste of a guy getting fired during the season.
And they brought Billy back, so you came Billy right away there, and that was a weird scenario. You just had him. Here's Yogi for about a year and 16 games, and Billy back on the scene. Very strange, Don. Thoughts there?
Yeah, Billy was a guy that I had a lot of respect for from the standpoint of he believed in me as a young player, and he played me in front of some other guys that had long-term contracts because I was producing. So Billy was a guy that gave me that chance. He was tough on me, honestly. Early on, he's tough on younger players. But, I had a lot of respect for just, number one, I had a lot of respect for the position of the manager. He always respected that. But he was a guy that gave me my chance and really believed in me right away as a young player.
And everybody used to talk about, Mattingly and Winfield, who knows how much they get along. The fans always took your side, the batting race, everything else. You've told me on many occasions you love Winfield. You love playing with him, right?
Absolutely. Dave's a true class act. And you think about it, if you really think about it, '84, the batting title, Dave and Mr. Steinbrenner had battled back and forth in the papers. He's a guy that got a long-term free agent contract. I was a young kid making nothing. So, the underdog always kind of gets, who everybody's kind of for in general. So that was a tough spot for Dave, but he always treated me great. And that's what I remember is during that whole race of '84, never did he make me feel uncomfortable or anything close to that. So I always had a ton of respect for Dave, him as a person, him as a player.
Excellent. Last thing, Don, '85, that good pennant race, sort of a little overshadowed in New York with the Mets and the Cardinals and Gooden and Strawberry and everything else. But the Yankees were right there going to that last weekend of the year. You had a chance against a very good Blue Jay team. What do you remember most about that last finishing touch there against the Blue Jays?
Yeah, I remember I think they dropped a fly ball in center to help us win game 1. We came from behind and won that game kind of shockingly. So then you're kind of like, we had to sweep the series to I think, tie. And then the next day, we didn't get a good outing. They kind of jumped us quick, and then that went bad. But what I really remember is there was a series in New York before that, and it was built up to be this huge series. The place was the first time I'd ever seen it like packed, like playoff atmosphere with Toronto, and they beat us 3 out of 4. I think we won the first one, maybe lost 3 in a row or 2 in a row, and it felt I felt the deflation because the series had so much buildup, and then we went and lost like 2 out of 3 to a weaker team. We should have won, maybe all 3, but and the Blue Jays went and lost right after that too. And if we'd have just kept playing good baseball, it wouldn't have got extended to 3 games before the end there. And that's what I kind of think about when I think about that pennant race.